What's up, YouTube? So happy April Fool's Day. So normally you'll see a bunch of videos come out on us trying to, or the people in the video trying to fool you, but instead we decided to be a fun thing to give you some tips and drills to fool your opponent. So we have 5 different ways, plus a couple bonuses that are a couple of my favorite ones that are really notorious in the dojo here. For being really frustrating to the other person.
Oh yeah.
But one of them, the last one at the very end, is just what we call the thing, because we don't have any other name for it. But we'll have 5 actual ones that you can use in Kumite or in sparring, and then the other 2 are just kind of for fun. So with that, let's jump right into it. Alright, so our first one that we're going to go over, a lot of these are pretty basic, pretty simple, but just something new, something to kind of play around with if you don't already do these. I can almost guarantee you there will be at least 1 or 2 that you haven't seen before. So from our stance, the whole objective with this is I'm going to try to fake her out or kind of trick her into moving her hands without actually touching and moving her hand right now. Okay, so the first one we're going to do is, instead of throwing a jab fake like we normally will do, I'm just going to lift this hand. So I'm just going to lift it just a little bit like this. And of course she's going to react right now for the sake of showing you, but most people, even in Kumite, will react very similar to this. You'll get a little twitch. All right, if you get somebody that's not reacting, we have something for that a little bit later in the video. But the idea is that I'm doing this, you'll get this little twitch. And as this is going, I'm going to drop and throw my Gyakuzuki, my reverse punch. All right, so instead of throwing my jab where she could trap it and push out of the way, I'm just going to lift this and then drop down low. Right? Now, of course, if I do this, she could throw her reverse punch, but I'm in a good position to block and counter because my hand is so close to her that I can block her hand pretty easily. So that's the first one. Just lift this up, let her react to it, and then drop down. All right, so the second one is very similar. We're just going to reverse it and do it on our rear side. All right, so this one, I'm going to raise this hand out to the side a little bit. So instead of raising it like right by your hand, we're going to lift it up to the side a little bit further away, just enough to pull this hand over to the side a little bit, and then I'm going to throw my jab. So from here, if I just kind of raise this up, and then I'm going to throw my jab, and I kind of end up in this open spot here where you can follow up or go for a sweep, whatever you want to do, but just something to play around with.
Again, with the other person, you just need a little adjustment in order to throw that technique. So don't expect them to go way out here for that block.
Exactly. Really, all you're looking for is like this little twitch. Just that little bit right there is plenty for this technique. So again, raise this up, boom, catch with a jab, and then keep this hand out in front in case you do have to block their counter. All right, number 3, it's a little bit more complicated, but really not that bad. We're going to kind of fool them into thinking we're throwing our jab reverse punch. So we're going to go back to our number 1 that we did a second ago. We're going to raise this up, or you can throw a jab fake now. All right, because we want them to know that I'm throwing this reverse punch next. So we want them to think 1, 2 is coming, because if you ask anybody what comes after the jab, it's the reverse punch. It's 99% of the time. So I'm going to throw my jab, and I'm going to drop my body, and then I'm just going to stand up and I'm going to go to the head. All right, so exactly. I might throw like a couple things down low, try to get her to react to it, but then I'm going to go 1, 2, and then I'm going to stand up and go high. And this one works great. Even internationally, I use this one all the time. We'll be moving around, I'll kind of test, I'll drop, and then go up high, and it really will trick them into thinking that reverse punch is coming. All right, so let's take the same one, or a similar one, and add a little bit more spice to it. Spicy. Instead of faking high this time, because we're trying to think a step ahead, like a chess match in our fight game. So instead of trying to fake high and then go low, what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually test down low. So I'm going to throw my jab, even though we don't usually throw jabs to the body all that much. I'm going to throw this down low and then come up.
Now keep in mind, when he's doing that, his body is still back. So when he's testing in with his shoulders back instead of testing in with his head.
Great point.
He might get hit in the head.
Yeah, don't bring the thing they want to punch to their front hand unless you have a really good dentist. All right, so I want to kind of test in. Like she said, I'm staying back. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of stand up. And all that I want her to do is return back to her normal body posture. So her normal guard. I'm not trying to get her to do anything big or crazy. Right? I'm going to kind of test. And then all I want is that lift. Because as soon as I come up, I'm going to drop down again for a reverse punch. All right, so let's break that down again. I'm here. I'm going to test, come back up, and then reverse punch. Okay, now, I was saying you can't be too fast, but you can be too early. All right, so if I go and I go too fast, she doesn't have time to react to it. So I've got to kind of give her some time. React, lift, and then go down. All right, and we can put some of these together if you want to play around with reaching high afterwards. Kind of play around, make it your own, but this is the general idea. Drop, lift, and then punch down. All right, so our fifth and final one, we're actually going to switch sides. My goal is, and like I said, this is if the person isn't reacting a lot. This is great for that.
Statues.
Exactly. They're tired of getting punched, and they're smart enough not to react to your fakes. Use this to your advantage. If they're not reacting to your fakes, they're not blocking your normal attacks if you can hide it correctly. So we're going to kind of fool them into thinking, oh, I didn't react to their technique, I'm doing pretty well. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to do a little pump fake with my jab. She didn't react. Shucks. Right? So I'm throwing that pump fake, and then I'm just going to stall for a second. I'm just going to wait for like a half a bounce, just a split second. And then guess what I'm going to throw? I'm going to throw my jab, right? So I'm going to throw this test, wait, and then I'm going to throw the jab right in there. So when she goes, nope, I'm not reacting to that fake, crap. So
tapped.
Exactly. So I'm going to fake and then throw that right in there. And this one is really good, and it's really frustrating for the other person because they finally, in their brain, got a step ahead of you. And then they just got punched in the chops, and it's no fun. All right, those are the 5. Now let's go into the fun, crazy ones that are something that I like to play around with, especially when I'm fighting some underbelts and the kids. It's just fun to mess around with. But I've seen this, I've actually used this against advanced belts too, because it's so weird. All right, so the first one, this is my new favorite one that I've been doing a lot. So if we're in our stance here, I'm gonna use my rear hand. And as crazy as this sounds, I'm going to reach around and just tap my back. I know what you're thinking. No way in heck that's going to work. What happens is they go, what's that? Right?
Why would you do that?
Yeah, this guy's weird. Yeah, I know I'm weird, but I also am hitting you. So from here, I just kind of tap my back. And as soon as this happens, I'm going to throw a back fist. So I'm going to go 1, and as soon as you see this, your brain kind of goes, what the heck is that thing?
What?
And then whack, I'm going to throw my back fist. And again, this one's just kind of fun. We're just messing around. I'm going to go from here and I go 1, bam, and then throw the back fist, and then I step off to the side. So this one's great.
I've definitely been hit with that.
Yeah, it's been a fun one lately. But this next one, this has been the one that is known here in the dojo. We couldn't come up with a name for it.
The thing!
So Kelly would always say, did you just do the thing? He just did the thing! Yeah, it's really frustrating. Everybody hates this one, but I can usually people will get caught with this like 3 or 4 times in a row.
Absolutely.
And it's so frustrating. So actually we'll switch sides again. This one, I'm going to pretend I do a lot of trapping. So I trap the hands a lot and I pull them out of the way. And people know that. So usually when I do this, people will resist that pressure. So when I reach for it, their hand does this.
I actually did that.
So without actually meaning to, this little pressure gets her hand to kind of reach out. Now, I'm going to go slow and we'll do it from a couple angles. But from here, I'm reaching out. Now, as soon as their hand is about to touch mine, I'm going to just fold this back and drop it down for a punch. All right, so let's go from a little bit different of an angle. I'm going to reach this one out. As soon as she starts to open up, I'm going to fold this back, kind of going with my elbow in, almost like concrete eye, and then boom, dropping this in there. And yes, it looks ridiculous, it sounds crazy, but if we're here, I'm going to reach and then go in here. All right, so if we're in our stance, I'm going to reach and then just drive this around this way here. If they stop reacting to it, pull their hand down and punch them. and then it almost resets automatically. This way here, and you'll just kind of get that natural reaction where they do this, and it is hilarious.
So frustrating.
Because you get somebody 5 or 6 times in a row, and they know it's coming, and they open up, and they get hit, and they're just done.
It's really awesome trying it though. Even I've tried it, and it's so fun to be like, I just did the thing.
I did the thing! So if you do the thing, let us know. Tell us about the thing and how it worked.
Yes.
Don't do this too much. Don't try it in competition. I don't do it in competition. I don't think it will work too well.
But these are 5 plus 2 awesome sparring combinations to throw in there and just kind of mix it up so it's not just the boring everyday 1, 2.
Exactly. The first 5 we do in competition all the time. The last 2 just for fun. Play around with them. Try them out. But enjoy your April Fool's Day. Check out some of the other videos and enjoy your day. Have an awesome time training these. Let us know how they go.
Yeah.
See you in the next video. Peace.